Happy Saturday, everybody. We are in downtown Miami once again. We're going to be streaming for about 1 hour tonight, and we are going to be walking to the Brickell, which is all the way down here. So we will get started in just a minute. It's about 75 degrees tonight here out in downtown Miami, and we are right behind the FTX arena. I see Maya's here, says hello Tom. Hassan Terrell, what's up Hassan? Dante Rose says hey Tom, stay safe. Mario, what's up Mario? Says what's up Tom. What's up Mario? William Creech says good evening. What's up William? Sunshine after rain. El the original is here. What's up El? Hope you're well. Rosie says hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, Rosie. Muy bien, y tú? We are once again in downtown Miami. Michelle McGraw is here. What's up, Michelle? Says, hey, Tom, how are you? I'm doing very well. Happy Saturday, everybody. Hope everyone has a good start to the weekend so far. Beautiful weather all day today. Should continue throughout the night in Miami. We'll get started in just a minute. Just put my laptop away. RJ says, hola from Colorado. Hope all is well. Brandy says, good evening. So everybody, I was actually just watching some dolphins in this, I don't know what this is called. I believe it's just the Miami Bay. But there were dolphins jumping in and out of the water just a minute ago. It was amazing to sort of check that out. Sally says, beautiful view. Tom, what is up, Sally? Mario says, watching from the new Republic of Barbados. Very cool. Exploration says, evening. Today is Saturday, not Friday. Title says Friday. Oof. I don't know why the title says Friday. Apologize for that. RJ says, yo, what's going on, RJ? Trucks in History says, hey from Miami. Saludos. Welcome, everybody. So we are going to be walking to the Brickell tonight. So we'll get started. RL says, see the blue whale. Yeah, so I was actually just watching some dolphins jump in and out of the water. So I apologize for the title last night, so apologize. But it's a beautiful night here in Miami, beautiful weather. And we are overlooking these 3 big mega yachts, which are owned by a Swiss entrepreneur that I believed he sold his pharmaceutical company to Merck near 2007. Hey, Alan Wilson is here. Says, good evening, everyone. What's up, Alan? Hope you are well. Solo 401 says, it's called water. What's up, Solo 401? June says, good evening. What's up, June? Long time no see. Melee says, nice view. What's up, Melee? Mario, Exploration. Hope everybody's doing well. Hassan says, I wish I need Santa for Christmas. Can you guys believe in 2 weeks it's already Christmas already? Insane. RL says, crypto crashing. Yeah, so we had a pretty big sell-off in the price of Bitcoin as well as Ethereum last night. But if we look at the technicals, the price is actually rebounded right off of that long-term trend line, the 200-day moving average. Solo 401 says, clouds look wicked. Yeah, the sky here in Miami is beautiful. I'll sort of give you guys a look. If you look straight, Solo 401 says 2022 coming way too fast. I agree. Photos from around New York is here. It says time flies pretty quick. Yeah, I can't believe where the time went this year, guys. Really, really crazy. Hey, Crypto Mafia says valid pullback. Bigger time frame structure is bullish in my opinion. This is Crypto Mafia. Yeah, I think I have to agree. I mean, the 200-day moving average, it seemed, and I was actually watching it in real time because right when I got back home from streaming, I jumped online on a couple other live streams, and we had about an $8,000 rally off the 200-day moving average. So we'll see We'll see what happens. Starving Artist says, hi, Tom. Hope your weekend is going well. It's going really well. It's going really well so far. Charlie Richardson is here. Says, hi, Tom. What's up, Charlie? Gigi NYC says, good evening, Tom and friends. What's up, Gigi? Good to see you. So one of the things we'll be talking about a little bit tonight, and I know that on the weekends we usually don't have a topic for discussion, but I think it would be important to talk about the Turkish lira. The Turkish lira is pretty much in a massive hyperinflationary collapse. So we'll talk about that today. Crypto Mafia says, do you at times miss New York City? Not really, because I was there 2 days ago, and then I'm going to have to be back in New York City again in 3 days. So, no, I don't really miss New York City. For work, I have to travel there extremely often, so I'll probably be in New York City about 1 week out of the year. Sorry, but Miami is extremely, extremely beautiful, and I'm loving the city so far. Whereabouts do you live, Crypto Mafia? Patel says, you go to Miami but never visited the best. Michelle McGraw's here. Starving Artist from Canada. How are you, Starving Artist? Hunter Butler's here. Says, hi, Tom. What's up, Hunter Butler? Ken Kramer is here. Timothy says, great views. What's up, Tim? Hope you're well, Ken Kramer. What is going on? Hope everybody's having a good Saturday so far. So if you look at the top of this guy's yacht, he actually has a helicopter with a helicopter landing pad on the top of his boat, which is pretty insane. I'll give you guys one good look at it. Can you imagine being wealthy enough to have a helicopter on your boat? Really, really incredible. Hey, the Swan is here. The Swan is joining us from Ireland. Good to have you here, the Swan. We are in downtown Miami overlooking these beautiful buildings here, but we are going to be making the trek to the Brickell downtown because we weren't able to get there last night. We had to cut the stream short because I had to get to the bus. I was about to say train. I'm so used to saying the train. Photos from around New York says Swan. Yeah, the Swan. We'll be back seeing the Empire State Building soon, my friend. William Creech says, I probably landed a drone on my fishing boat. Very cool. GL says, beautiful view, Tom. Hope all is well. Everything's going really well. I had a good day today. I picked up a new book. I sort of hanging out all day reading it. It was a good day. Very good day. Photos from around New York says the colored lights there is a new light bulb that changes color, and that is how many people have fun in colored apartments. Yeah, so photos from around New York. I'll try to zoom in on this building. If you guys could see, look at the very, very top of this building. I'm not sure if this is somebody's apartment or... Here, let's check it out. If you see, is this probably somebody's penthouse all the way up here? At the very, very top, you see the lights going crazy up there. But supposedly, the majority of the apartments in these buildings are you have the entire floor. So these people buy entire floors of these buildings. It's incredible. Hey, Deborah S is here. Says, I heard lift fees went sky high in the areas. Yeah, so I noticed, I don't really take Lyft or Uber much, but I have noticed in New York City that the Uber fees are incredible. So I definitely do agree with you. It's insane. Good to see you. RL says, photos from around Miami. Yes. Nicholas says, Tom, I was just thinking about you. How you doing? New York City misses you, Nicholas. Thank you for being here, my friend. I appreciate you. Hope you're having a good Saturday. RL, good to see you. Deborah S, the Swan. Crypto Mafia says, thoughts on real estate. Do you believe there will be a correction in 2022, or will prices continue to go up? So crypto mafia, I think that's a very good question. And I think that's mainly predicated on interest rates. So I believe, and you can look it up for yourself, I'm not too sure about the exact statistic, but I believe for every percentage point in interest rates go up, I believe that equates to a 10% correction, give or take, in the real estate markets. So in my opinion, I don't think that the Federal Reserve is going to raise the Fed funds rate. And something very interesting that's been going on all last week is the yield curve has actually been coming down a lot. And that's not good news for the economy, because usually when the yield curve falls, that is signaling turmoil ahead in terms of the overall economy. And I think I would probably argue that the economy is not that good right now. So if we look at the 10-year Treasury yield, and contrary to what a lot of people think that the 30-year is a better indicator to predicting mortgage rates, but it's actually not. It's actually the 10-year Treasury yield is the best predictor for mortgage rates. And we saw the 10-year U.S. Treasury yield come all the way down from about 1.7 to 1.37 last week. So in my opinion, what I think is going to happen is interest rates are even going to go lower, if that's even possible. And I know that sounds crazy, but I was looking at the bond market all week, and this is why in the newsletter, I write a free financial newsletter every single week for all of you called Behind the Street. You can feel free to sign up for free. I always talk about the bond market. The bond market is the most important thing to look for. It's the most important thing to look at. So that 10-year Treasury yield came down to about 1.37 this week, and that's probably going to transition to even lower mortgage rates for next year. So this could actually drive the housing prices even higher, if that's even relatively possible. But it is within the realm of possibility. What I would like to see is for the Federal Reserve to actually taper. I would like to see the Federal Reserve actually raise the Fed funds rate to sort of cool off inflation and get things a little bit back to normal. But in my opinion, I don't see that happening. So that is that's my perspective. But again, I could be totally wrong. I think what would be healthy for the U.S. economy in general is for real estate prices to come down. And I'm trying to say that in the most non-biased of a way as possible, because I just recently purchased a home. So, my vested interest, I would want real estate prices to go up. But I think over the long term, I think it's healthier for real estate prices to come down to allow some younger people that are trying to get into the market to buy their first home, to allow them to do that in a way that doesn't put them under extreme stress and pressure. So hopefully that was a long-winded answer. I apologize, but that's sort of what I think. Hey, Nicholas says, how many millions have you invested on artwork at the Art Basel? This year, about 7 million. So a little bit less than last year. Just kidding. I don't have any millions. Just kidding, guys. But good to see you, Nicholas. The Swan is here. Hey, Black Angel says, what's up? What's up, Black Angel? Arsenal Fan 13 is here. Good to have you. Says, beautiful view of the Miami skyline. I think the buildings look incredible with the clouds in the background. It looks really, really cool. Hey, Christian Hansen says, what Tom said, I concur. Hey, what's up, Christian? Good to see you. Nicholas says, I was just discussing with a friend about being friends with your coworkers. My stance is you should be friendly with your coworkers, not friends. What do you think? I actually tend to concur with you for the majority of what you said. It's good to be friendly with your coworkers, not super, super close with everybody. But let's say you're in let's say you want to, start a startup business or a company or something like that. I think it's good to keep this civility, if that's a word, to be civil with all your coworkers and really pick and choose which ones you think could add the most value to your life. Because if you're sitting next to the guy at the office that's negative, that's a deadbeat and a derelict, it's probably not going to add any value to your life. But if you're sitting next to somebody that's positive, that wants to help you out, that wants to improve the company, I think you should definitely keep them very, very close. Hey, Horatio Snipes is here. What's up, Horatio? Good to see you. Sabrina Fair is here. Somebody says hi from Japan. Greetings, everybody from Japan. Everybody, I see the one and only Tech Explorers NYC says good evening. What's up, Tech Explorers NYC? Good to see you. Crypto Mafia says great perspective. Thank you. No problem. The Swan says this place looks like it's made of glass. Photos from around New York with very good insight here says, and the economy is not just the stock market. Yeah, the economy is not the stock market. And the stock market is definitely not the economy. Definitely agree with you. Good to see you, George Lopez. The Austin Tennis says, hey, Tom, hope you're having a great night. Very nice of you to show us your condo building tonight. Yeah, the Austin Tennis, we just passed your mega yacht here with your helicopter. So we'll try to do a quick lap around and then we'll head down to the Brickell. I see Out and About. Happy Saturday, Out and About. I know the title says Friday night in Miami, everybody, so I apologize. Forgot to change that. But Out and About, good to see you. Out and About is our pal from Toronto, Canada. Username Schmoozername says, what do you think about Ray Dalio's comment about a new American Civil War? Interesting point. So Ray Dalio, and for those who don't know who Ray Dalio is, he is a billionaire hedge fund investor. He is the founder of Bridgewater Investments. And he says that there's about a 30% chance of a civil war breaking out in the United States. I'm going to have to disagree with that. Even though I do respect Ray Dalio a great deal, I'm starting to lose a little bit of respect for him. Especially after the interview he did with CNBC about his investments in China. I think, and you guys know me, the people who've been watching the stream for a long time, you guys know my take. I'm a big capitalist. I like to, make money, but it comes to a point, right? And Ray Dalio essentially was telling everybody on his CNBC interview that he doesn't care about the humanitarian crisis going on in parts of China. He just wants to invest his clients' assets in China, regardless if it goes towards making society better or not. And I think that's really unethical. And I understand that you have a duty and obligation to your clients to invest and grow their money. But if that means at the expense of marginalizing people in a society, I think it's pretty terrible to do that. In my opinion, some of the stuff that's going on within China, especially against some Muslim groups in China, where they're essentially being killed off. I'm not to get too political, but I thought the interview that Ray Dalio did with CNBC was really disgusting. I thought, but. Hey, War Walker, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. War Walker, you're the best. This is Evening Tomcat, how are you? Here's something for the bus fare or some orange juice. Thank you, War Walker, you're the best, my friend. So here we are on Northeast 9th Street in downtown Miami. And I see Talvish here, says, Wall Street Skate Bro, how are you doing tonight? I'm doing very well. Tech Explorers NYC says capitalism is quote unquote amoral. Ethics doesn't apply to them. Yeah, I mean, I think just Ray Dalio's losing it a little bit. I think he's actually losing it. Sabrina Fair says Trump. Yep. Deborah S says, so it seems to be a way of spoofing to tip the scales. Says Deborah S. Out and About says fun night. I am at home doing laundry. Very cool. Tech Explorers NYC says I ran out of my Chinese positions. Yeah, so Tech Explorers NYC, I'm not sure if you were on the streams last week, but I blew out all of my Alibaba positions. So I actually have no exposure to Chinese equities anymore. So I sold all of my Alibaba for tax loss selling this year. Let's see what this sign says here. Username Schmoozername says, I sold my international ETF that held Chinese stocks. Not sure why I was in it in the first place. And see, that's the thing that I think is really, as a technologist myself, I think it sucks, right? Because the CCP is really stifling the growth of the Chinese economy. And the Chinese economy could easily overtake the United States in terms of their innovation and prosperity, but it never will. I can guarantee you it never will, so long as communism exists in China. I can guarantee you it never will. But it has the potential to do it with ease, with free market capitalism with ease. It would destroy the United States. Tech Explorers NYC says, I agree on that part. I will exit my remaining 4 shares of Alibaba. Yeah, and that's why we're seeing a lot of these Chinese equities, or, you know, ticker symbol BABA. It's actually an American depository receipt. So we have to understand, when we're buying these Chinese stocks, they're actually not the underlying company we're buying. We're buying the American depository receipts, which are essentially denominations that are held in offshore accounts. Sabrina Ferris says, Tom, buildings are falling down in China. Disagree. What do you disagree with? The Swan says, CCP are a threat to the next century worldwide. Rocky Rodriguez is here, says, hey, Tom. Masood says, isn't human rights in Saudi Arabia worse than China? It could be. It very well could be, but I don't think so. Dino, New Jersey says, good, Tom. Thank you for your frank and candid opinion about Ray Dalio. Yeah, and Ray Dalio is somebody who I've studied for a long, long time and respected. But after that, I mean, and you guys could look this up. If you Google Ray Dalio's CNBC interview with, I believe, Andrew Ross Sorkin, which I think he is, aside from being a CNBC commentator, he is the executive producer on the show Billions, I think. So if you Google that interview with Andrew Ross Sorkin, I thought it was totally out of character for Ray Dalio, or he just didn't have his PR person working that day, because it was so awkward. That interview was crazy. British Gray is here from Tampa, Florida. Says, good Saturday evening, Tom and mods. I do indeed apologize for being late. I was listening to music. No problem at all. British Gray, we're just good to have you here. Username says, are European stocks and ETFs depository receipts too? Not all of them. Not all of them. Not all of them. Crypto Mafia says, hey, it's the FTX arena. Yep, right here. This is where the Miami Heat play. Arsenal Fan 13 says, hey, Tom, what are your thoughts on hearing a Bank of America senior executive advising juniors to dress down due to the surge of crime in New York City? Yes, so Arsenal Fan, we actually talked about that yesterday. And I actually have a couple buddies who work at Bank of America right across the street from Bryant Park. And it is true. So managing directors at major investment banks in New York City and other major cities around the United States are advising their employees to actually dress down. You know, don't wear anything nice, don't wear your Rolex watches or anything like that, due to a massive crime wave that has been sweeping across New York City. And I think the crime wave is due to poor policing policy by Bill de Blasio and this horrendous bail reform that was passed by de Blasio. The bail reform was probably one of the worst things that ever happened to New York City in my view. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody. Hey, I see Daryl here. Says, good evening from Chicago, Illinois. Good to see you, Daryl. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Rocky Rodriguez, good to see you. Dino, New Jersey. Hey, Priscilla Michelle says, hey there, happy Saturday. What's up, Priscilla? Good to see you. Hey, I see Marty Lewis says, good evening, Tom and everybody. What's going on, Marty Lewis? Hey, I see Deep Value. Deep Value, I haven't seen you in a long time, man. Good to see you. Deep Value Tom Lee says, hey Tom, when are we gonna get a walk through Brickell or even Wynwood perhaps? Good to see you. So tonight, we should be headed there tonight. So we're gonna walk over the bridge to the Brickell tonight, but I just wanna see these yachts again because I really like looking at the water. Sometimes you could see some tropical fish. I just saw some dolphins swimming around, so maybe we'll get to see that on the stream too. Daryl says, Tom, did you see James and Carla Hudson video today? I did. So I popped in the stream. I said what's up to everybody. And I believe James and Carla are actually going to be in Miami very soon. Priscilla says, how's the weather there, Tom? The weather is beautiful here in Miami. It was about 78 degrees and sunny all day today. Otto says, hi, Tom. Greetings a bit late tuning in. What's up, Otto? Look at how beautiful this yacht is. Insane. Great Walk is here. Says, hope you guys are having a great weekend. Right back at you, Great Walk. And Pennywise is here too. What's up, Pennywise? Good to see you. Starving Artist says, isn't the crime wave the organized smash and grab gangs of people swarming high-end stores? Yeah, that is another big problem. That's mainly prevalent in San Francisco because in some parts of California, they have made shoplifting, it's not a misdemeanor anymore. So I think it's pretty crazy what's going on. I mean, if you don't punish crime, you're obviously going to get crime. So I have no idea what the politicians in those places are thinking. But I could tell you, just from being in Miami, I've met so many people. I've never met more people from San Francisco than since I moved to Miami. There's so many San Franciscans here and people from California in Miami that it's really crazy. And I've lived in New York all my life, and I've never met more people from San Francisco than I have when I moved to Miami. Hey, I see Cosmo here. What's up, Cosmo? Scary. Good to see you. Says, what's up, Skater and Squad? So Cosmo, we're just passing your yacht here in downtown Miami. Carolina Tom says, Tom, your outlook for the S&P in January, contrary to what a lot of people think, I think the S&P will be higher. It'll have a positive month in January. What we're seeing right now is massive deleveraging across the board. So we were talking about, if you're looking at the major equity indices, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average, these things are only about maybe 7% off of their all-time record highs. However, if we look under the hood of the market, all of the major high beta growth stocks that are trading at premium valuations are all getting killed. So I would even say that we are in a massive bear market right now in major growth stocks. That's what I would say. And I think this is due to a re-rating. So I believe Wall Street is re-rating all of these names in order to account for potential interest rate hikes. Username says Los Angeles DA is another turning a blind eye to the crime. Cosmo Scary says snow in the forecast for New York City. Yeah, so Cosmo, it was snowing in New York last week. David is here, says, what's the crime situation like in Miami? Anything similar to LA or San Francisco? Not even close. One of the main takeaways I have since moving to Miami is just how clean the city is. I mean, Miami is a major city, so we have crime just like anywhere else, but not even, you can't even compare it to some of the places like San Francisco. There's no smash and grab, anything like that. Hey, Sunshine New York says, hi, Tom, good to see you. Bet you were enjoying the weather. Indeed, I am. Sunshine New York, good to see you. Hope you're well, Sunshine. Henrique S. The Original says, hi, Tom. What's up, Enrique? Yeah, Sunshine New York. I mean, so just like any place, right? I think if you're in a major big city, you're gonna have crime. It's just, you're not gonna avoid having zero crime. So Miami definitely does have its fair share of crime, but you definitely do not see any of the smash and grab, you know, breaking into cars and stealing people and, I mean, stealing stuff from people's cars. You definitely don't see that at all. So here we see Cosmo Scary's helicopter. Hey, Action Kid says, are you still taking the bus to downtown Miami? Action Kid, happy Saturday. We are. So we are still taking the bus to downtown Miami. Very easy to get around, contrary to what a lot of people have been saying, but I actually enjoy the bus quite a bit. It's beautiful, very quiet down here near the FTX Arena at night. I really like it. But Action Kid, thank you for joining. Dogman says the smash and grabs in the San Francisco area are out of control. It is really out of control, and I don't understand how the people put up with it there. I really don't. Crypto Mafia says, I hear him, Meek Mill. Techno Pink says, hello. What's up, Techno Pink? Good to see you. Techno Pink is joining us from the Dominican Republic. Welcome, everybody, from the Dominican Republic. Jocko says, greetings from Colombia, bro. Good to see you, Jocko. Sebastian says, go to Greenwich, bro. PC Sun says, hello. Username says, not a good 6 months for Kathy Wood. Yeah, so if we look at the very popular ARK Innovations ETF, ARKA, I think it's ARKK, I believe. It almost looks exactly like the 2000 NASDAQ crash. Action Kid says the Rite Aid pharmacies near me have empty shelves. Heard there's a problem with theft. I know one of them are going to close. Oh, Action Kid, is this in New York City? So Action Kid, one of the things that I've noticed, especially in Midtown, is you'll see all of the soap products, the toothpaste, everything is locked up behind glass. So anytime you walk into a CVS, you're going to have to ask somebody just to open the gate to get soap. It's really kind of crazy. RL says there is an inverse ETF to ARK. William Wilson says, I want to wish my son Benjamin a happy birthday today. He is 12 years old. Hey, that's awesome. He went through a lot when he was born. He is a miracle baby. Happy 12th birthday, Benjamin. Hey, I can get behind that, William. So everybody, let's put a happy birthday in the chat real quick for our pal. Action says, yes, this is in Astoria, Queens. Dogman says, Kathy is a 5-year plan, though. There will be red flags. We will see. Yeah, so I think a lot of people who are not familiar with the financial markets, who have just joined into looking at stocks during the pandemic, this stuff happens all the time, okay? I've been doing this for a long time, and you always have these boom and bust cycles within the market, and especially I can tell you in growth stocks, because what happens is in these growth stocks, since they're growing their revenues so fast and they're growing their EPS so fast, they tend to trade at what's called a multiple expansion, right? So their PE ratios will be insane, sometimes well over 100 or 200, and they'll trade at 10 times sales, 20 times sales, and even 20 times, 30 times earnings. Right? And this always happens with these sort of growth stocks. So that's why they're called high beta, right? They're high beta stocks. So they tend to be more volatile than, you know, a sustainable or big company that makes up a larger weighting in the S&P. So if the S&P is down 5%, you can pretty much bet with 100% certainty that a lot of the growth stocks are going to be down 30%. So usually what I like to do is during times like these, when growth is really getting hammered and really getting hit hard, this is the time you need to be paying attention, right? It's the time that it's not the time to pay attention when everything is flying and going all over the place and hitting new all-time record highs. This is the time to focus on those companies that have a strong fundamental story, that are growing their earnings, that have about maybe a 3 to 5 year total addressable market runway. And we have to wait for these stocks to set up sound bases again. And when they start to break out of these bases again, that's when we redeploy our cash into the market and make another killing like we did in this tech run-up. Hey, JL's here, says, hey Enrique, what's up JL? Dogman says, be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy. Yeah, I would agree to that to some extent, but I never actually buy stocks when they're down in price. I actually usually buy them when they're moving up. I never want to throw good money after bad. And a good example of this is Zoom, ticker symbol ZM. So Zoom video is down about 72%, and it can go lower. So you never want to just throw money at a stock just because you think it's cheap. The trend is your friend, and if the trend is down, it tends to remain in that downtrend. James Brumley is here, says Amazon, Tesla, or Starbucks. Dogman says, we wait for our stocks to make a higher low. A very good strategy, Dogman. Hunter Butler says, Ernesto Bertelli owns the Vava 2 yacht, Swiss billionaire. Yeah, so Hunter, I believe the owner of this yacht sold his company to Merck, I believe, which is a pharmaceutical company. TL, good to see you. Dogman, good to see you. James Brumley. Crypto Mafia says, I know you probably look at all time frames when trading, but if you could only have access to one, what would it be? I only use weekly charts, surprisingly. I'm not a short-term trader. I don't do intraday trading. That's not what I do. So I actually very rarely do I look at anything besides a weekly time frame. So in my long-short portfolio that I have in my Interactive Brokers account, the time frame that I usually hold my stocks is right around maybe 6 to 24 months, and I know that's a pretty big gap, pretty big window there, but that is right around the time frame. Because if you really want to make a lot, right? I'm not interested in making like $200, $300. What you have to do is you have to get a good income at a job or a career, and then you want to invest that money over time to compound out your growth. So if you're just buying and selling stocks every day, you're going to be churning your wheels. It's never going to go anywhere. You need to be able to find a good company that is compounding out its earnings at least 25% at a compounded annualized growth rate, and you need to be able to sit in this stock for at least 4 to 6 earnings reports, right? You got to sit through these earnings reports because the majority of the moves that the stocks make are actually after hours, after major earnings events. Ken Kramer says long-term is the key to successful investing. I agree with that 100%. Wow, but these yachts are massive, guys. It's insane. I don't understand how people can manage all of this. I guess if you're that wealthy, you must have like teams of people helping you out with everything. Hey, Ryan is here, says beautiful shots, Tom. Shout out to the #1 governor in the United States, Ron DeSantis. What's up, Ryan? Good to see you. Dane Harvey says, what is the weather in Miami? It's about 75 degrees. Today it was about 78 and sunny, so really nice. 48 is here from New Zealand, says they are way too big. Yeah, these things are massive. Good to see you, 48. Traveling New Yorker says Miami's safer than New York City. I think right now it's a lot safer than New York, but by and large, New York is still a safe city. There was actually just a terrible murder of that Columbia University student, which is just so horrible. Really, really terrible. I believe there was a Columbia University graduate student that was killed. I think it was this week. Sunshine After Rain is a beautiful scene, Tom. It's beautiful here. Dane Harvey, good to see you. Traveling New Yorker, good to have you here as always. Photos from around New York says dollar cost average into a Vanguard S&P 500 index fund. I agree with that. Dane Harvey says, does Miami ever get cold? I think the coldest I've ever seen it in Miami is about 65 degrees. Ken Kramer says, yes, the killer by a guy who was arrested 12 times. Yeah, so Ken Kramer, this is exactly what I was talking about with the bail reform. And a lot of my friends are police officers because I actually went to John Jay College of Criminal Justice in Manhattan, and that's what I was going to be for my career. I was going to be a police officer in the NYPD. And a lot of my friends say it's annoying because they get called to the scene of a crime, they arrest the guy, they process him at the police station, and then they just release him because of this new bail reform. So all of these criminals that are committing crimes in the city, it's just catch and release. And they're going out to commit more crimes in New York, which is horrible. Andy says, nice walk, Tom. What's up, Andy? Good to see you. Sally says, hi, Tom. Beautiful night. Starving Artist says, I doubt if the owners of these mega yachts ever spend much time on them themselves. That is true. That's a good point. Ren HP Book says, hello from California. What is up, Ren HP Book? I see Ron here. I see Dr. Ray Rays. What's going on? What's up, Ron? Username says, do you think technical analysis can be used to beat the market? So I think the number one thing, technicals are very important, right? But the main most important thing in investing is the fundamentals of a company. Because I think a lot of people, they forget what a stock is. They can get caught up in looking at all these squiggly lines on a chart. But at the end of the day, a stock represents an actual business, right? At the end of the day, what's behind every stock is a fully functioning business. Well, at least I hope. Some of them are not fully functioning businesses. So I believe the best investors, in my opinion, are the ones who can dictate and understand what the best business models are. And I think that's the best caveat of free market capitalism, is that if you can, when a business is performing and fully functional and is earning money and is producing free cash flow, that business should be given more money in the free capital markets to expand and grow their businesses. But in a time of artificially low interest rates and central banking and easy money policies, we have a ton of companies that are called zombie companies that are allowed to stay around only on the fact that money is cheap. Hey, David says, bad prosecutors backed by George Soros money. Paul F says, double shooting on the 4 train this morning in Manhattan. Really? I didn't hear about that, Paul. That's really crazy. John Donnelly says, catch and release sounds like a horror movie. For the love of God says, heaven, don't miss it for the world, says, for the love of God. Ken Kramer says, only a few weeks left of de Blasio. Goodbye incompetence. I agree with that. I'm optimistic about the new mayor. Traveling New Yorker says, is Miami mostly Spanish speaking? Yes, it is. Crypto Mafia says, if you had to pick, let's assume travel is shut down and work was remote, which location would you live? Now that we're coming up on the winter, I would definitely choose Miami. 100%. I'm not a big fan of the winter, but I think, in my opinion, the two greatest cities in the United States is number 1, New York, and number 2, Miami. So this is where I want to spend most of my time. And this is where I think the majority of the technological innovation is going to be over the next few years, is in New York City and in Miami. A lot of people think that New York is not going to be a big tech hub. I actually think it will be. Diane Vance is tuned in from Arizona. What's going on? Estelle is here from Australia. Says, looks so pretty. What's up, Estelle? Good to see you as always. Welcome everybody from Arizona. Good to see you. If you're just tuning in, wherever you are, we are going to be walking to the Brickell, which is downtown tech district, financial district in Miami. Great Walk says, I wonder how often they use those yachts. I'm not sure. Mr. Wobble says cryptos. Yeah, so we had a bit of a crypto correction yesterday. I believe at about midnight. I was watching it in real time. But I think the most important thing to understand is I believe there was over $120 million worth of liquidations, which means that these people that are trading on margin, their entire accounts are liquidated overnight. And this is why I always try to tell everybody it's not worth it to try to trade with leverage. There's no reason to. There's no reason. I think the people who try to invest and trade with leverage, they're just trying to do like the whole get rich quick thing, which never works out. It never works out. So never trade with margin, never trade with leverage. It's not worth it. David says, so you think LA is dead? I think a lot of people are moving out of California. Hey, Trader J says, did you buy more Atlassian on sale? I didn't. I actually sold a bunch right as it cut through its 50-day moving average. So that is one of my major sell rules. But my cost basis on Atlassian is extremely low. So I pretty much only have my original position left in Atlassian. And the market has forced me out of pretty much all my profits in the stock, which is a good thing. So, yeah, very good investment. So I still have a position in Atlassian, but it's only my position that I started with in terms of dollar denomination. So yeah, it's going to be a fun tax year for sure. Justin B says, would you add Austin to the technological cities list? It seems like the big ones are moving here, but do you think indie tech companies will go elsewhere? No, Justin, I actually agree with you 100%. And I think that Austin, Texas is a major tech hub. So I think you're going to have essentially anywhere besides your traditional technology hubs, so long as the politicians in California don't fix the crime problem. I think you're still going to see people migrating out of Silicon Valley, out of San Francisco, going other places. One of which being San Antonio, Texas. So I definitely agree with you there. Hey, Diane Van says, we've seen an influx from LA here in Metro Phoenix. Yeah, the Phoenix market, Arizona is really booming, with a lot of people coming from California to escape the crime and to escape taxes. And I believe the Arizona real estate market is on a tear, is on fire. Hey, Lost in the Curve says, so following the logic of buy when there is panic, shouldn't it be time to invest in California? Says Lost in the Curve. Yeah, but I think there is a main distinction between like buying when there's a panic and buying when you have structural and fundamental societal collapse and dystopian apocalypse. Created by bad politics. Like I could see if, let's say if Apple stock sold off 70%, it crashed 70% in a day. Well, then that would probably be a viable thing to buy, right? Because it's a viable business. Nothing really about the business has changed. You know, they're still producing a massive amount of free cash every single quarter. But in some of these cities like San Francisco, so long as those political systems stay intact, I think you're always going to see a migration out of major crime cities unless you can get the crime under control. So maybe if you want to move there and then try to fight all these politicians to get the crime under control, then maybe. Hey, the Mighty Bull says, greetings, Tom from New York. What's up, Mighty Bull? Good to see you. Arsenal Fan 13 says, lots of people moving from California to Nevada, from what I heard as well. Melanin MYA says, stop talking like Florida is a bed of roses. We're not really even talking about Florida. We're talking about the migration from the West Coast to states like Texas, New York, Boston. If you actually look at the data, A lot of people are moving out of California and actually moving to New York from California. So it's not just Florida. A lot of people that I know in tech in Silicon Valley and San Francisco are moving to places like Boston, especially, New York especially, not just places like Florida. I would say maybe Florida would probably be maybe 4th or 5th on the list. I've always held the notion that New York will still New York will always be prosperous, mainly because of the talent pool that is in New York. We have some of the greatest institutions, educational institutions in the world in New York. You have NYU, you have Cornell University, you have Columbia. So long as those institutions are thriving and well, and plus you have it's the greatest city in the world, New York City. So yeah, that's my take on that. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. So saying that Florida is a bed of roses, I don't think anything is a bed of roses. You're always going to have problems in every major city, and that's mainly just because of the law of probabilities. You know, if you have millions of people living in one place, you're always going to have crime. Hey, XOXO Bob says, hi Tom, did you make it to Wynwood today? I did not, Bob, I did not. So I'm going to definitely try to check that out tomorrow. Diane Van says, New York is awesome. I agree. Orland Edwards says, hey Tom and everybody. What's up, Orland? Lisa Martin says, Florida is a bed of roses. It's my favorite place to vacation every year. Love the vibe in Florida. Yeah, Southern Florida is definitely great. Let's walk, you know what? Let's walk down here. We've never been down here before, I don't think, on the streams. Let's check it out. Great Walks are the great universities in Florida. I never really see any on your streams. Yeah, so that has actually been one of the pitfalls of Florida for a long time, is really the lack of very, very, very good institutions. Obviously, you have good schools here, University of Miami and the like, but usually in states where you have the best educational institutions, you have a lot of opportunity to recruit talent from. Nicholas says, Tom, do you have a car or just a skateboard? Just a skateboard, no car. Luis Miguel, how are you? Good to see you, Luis Miguel. Shot by Scott, how are you? Hey, the Mighty Bull says, greetings to our moderators. What's up? Lost in the Curve says, Californians that are selling and moving and selling to someone at a profit. So who are the buyers are coming from? Californians that are selling and moving. Yeah, so for I guess what your point is, so every seller, there has to be a buyer. Yeah, so what I would say to that is exactly sort of what we've been talking about, I believe 2 streams ago, about the wealth gap. So usually what happens in those major cities, and it's even starting to happen in New York, is it develops what's called a 2-tier society. And I actually wrote about it in my newsletter, the Behind the Street newsletter. You start to have a society where you have the extreme haves and the extreme have-nots. So you're going to start to see homeless people living outside multi-million-dollar apartment complexes and businesses, and that's exactly what is going on in California. So you've had a culling of the middle class in these specific places. Hey, Andrea Bryant, what's going on? David says, why do you think Warren Buffett is such a big skeptic when it comes to cryptocurrencies? I think it's because he didn't grow up in a time of digitization. He's not very familiar with, technological advancements, right? I think Warren Buffett's a very smart guy, and I do agree with him that the vast majority of cryptocurrencies are fraudulent and are schemes and scams. But the fundamentals of Bitcoin, its Lightning Network, and Ethereum are actually very, very viable. Hey, CG says some buyers are multiple families pooling their money together to buy a home in California. Yeah, you know what? That's funny that you mentioned that, because it's the same sort of situation you're seeing on Long Island. Nikki Kennedy says, how long have you been doing YouTube walks? I recently found your channel, love your outlook. So we've been doing this for about maybe 4 months now, the live streams. We mainly stream between New York City and Miami. But good to see you, Nikki, and good to see you, CG. Shot by Scott says, Tom, pick a Lambo, any Lambo. I know, crazy. Nicholas says, I think by 2040, there will be a defined student debt crisis, and I think it will happen sooner than later. A large majority of educated individuals have massive debts, which impact the economy. Nicholas, I agree with you 100% on that. And I was actually just reading a very good article on the Wall Street Journal about how the student debt, it's literally a crisis. Oh, these are some cool cars here. What is that? I think that is a Lamborghini, the new, I forget, I'm terrible with cars, but I think it's like the SUV, the Lamborghini SUV. So one of the main reasons why college is so expensive in the United States in the first place is because the government is involved with subsidizing all these student loans. So there's no price discovery at all in the education market, because colleges and institutions know that if they charge whatever they want for education, the students are guaranteed to get the full amount of the tuition. So the University of Miami and all of these private schools, none of them have an incentivization to lower prices and cut costs. They have an exact incentivization to increase the expenditure on administrative staff, increase the expenditure on sports stadiums and the like, because they know every single year they will be able to raise their tuitions, because the government will automatically subsidize 100% of the loans. Fred T says, students need to learn that you don't need a $100,000 education. There's state schools at much lower prices. I definitely agree with you. Matt says, why doesn't the government just cap the amount they will pay to schools? Well, Matt, I think that would be a good idea. And usually the government is filled with people that are incompetent. So I don't think that'll ever happen, unfortunately. Ryan says, right on, Tom, exactly right. Estelle says, amazing cars. Yeah, where are we, guys? This place is really cool. I really like the color of this car, this baby blue car. It's very cool. John Donnelly says, them cars all belong to premier footballers from the UK. Wow, that's awesome. Hey, Ron TV Metro says, hello, friends and mods. What's going on? Good to have you here. Wow, I think this is, what is that? A Bugatti, I believe. Wow, that car is extremely expensive. I think that's like $1 million vehicle. It's pretty cool. Andrea Bryan, how are you? Good to see you. Check out this thing, guys. This is pretty sick. Hey, Bob says, you were in front of the Paramount Tower, the one with the lights at the top. Ah, cool. Ryan says, student debt forgiveness is a terrible idea. Nothing is free. Bob says, what's up, Bob? William Creech says, maybe 2.3 million. Wow. Hey, Miss Dash says, hi, Tom. Evening, everyone. And nice rides. What is up, Miss Dash? Good to see you. George Lopez, good to see you. Nicholas says, we need free education as a nation. We should take pride in educating our youth with the goal of making them important contributors to society, which directly correlates with the economy. Arsenal says, dope color scheme on the Bugatti. Diane Vance is looking at a Bugatti while chatting about debt. Funny. Square Bet, how are you? This is Bugatti. So this is a, what, a $3 million? That is crazy. I could never even imagine spending that much money on a vehicle, but hey, I mean, more power to you if you have it. Lost in Curve says, aren't non-government student loans guaranteed by the government? Yeah, the vast lion's share of student loans are subsidized by the government. Matt says, are the stocks that government officials buy disclosed? I always hear about Pelosi's investments with privileged information she has. They're supposed to be disclosed. Yes, they are. Hey, Dino, New Jersey, good to see you. Says, my employer paid for my education. I went to school for free. So, Dino, that was actually a similar situation to me. If you get a job during college, a lot of the big tech companies actually offer tuition reimbursement. Out and About says there are ways to make a great income without going to university. So in my opinion, I think by and large, college is useful and it's important. But what I don't agree with is people going to school and spending 75 grand on like an English degree or a liberal arts degree, right? That is the return on investment, or ROI, there is quite ridiculous. So people need to understand that they could go to a local state school or a local city school and make a very good income and a good living just like everybody else. Don't fall into the trap that you need to go to a private school to come out of school making, a lot of money. I don't necessarily agree with that. Oh, so we have the owners of the Bugatti here. Nicholas says, do we know of any other countries that have student debt situations similar to the United States? I'm not sure. Maybe it's I think it's very exclusive to the US, in my opinion. Hey, Dante Rose says, thanks for the stream, Tom. I'm going to watch Fernando's stream. Stay safe. Appreciate it, Dante Rose. William Creech says, Revit. What's up, William? I really like the colors. The colors are so bright and just very unique to anything I've ever seen on a car, in my opinion. William Creech is so sick. Yeah, these things are really cool. John Donnelly, good to see you. Username says nothing is free, it's only taxpayer funded. I definitely agree with that. Priscilla says they're probably famous. Yeah, probably. I love the contrast between the blue and the black on his vehicle. I think that is probably the most perfect color for that car, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Wow. Somebody says it looks like a rental. I don't think it's possible to rent a Bugatti. Nicholas says, ask the Bugatti drivers what they do for work. Yeah, I mean, I don't, for some reason, I don't really like going up to people and filming them. I don't know, I think that may be a little bit of an invasion of their privacy. People may not like that. Diane Vance's beautiful contrast, I agree. John Donnelly says, do people make money investing in gold? Yeah, I think you have some people doing that. I definitely think so, but I would say the inflation rate is probably, over the past couple of years, has outpaced the returns in gold. Zebra Sparkle says, hi, what's going on? Hope you're well. All right, guys, so now we will head to the Brickell. We are on Northeast 1st Avenue in downtown Miami. Hello from Dallas, Texas. Lisa S.'s great channel, loving the live stream tonight. Thank you, Lisa S. Thank you for joining, Lisa. Appreciate it. We usually go live 5 days a week. And we mainly spend the majority of our time between New York City and Miami. So So if you want to be a part of it, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Crypto Mafia's thoughts on a scenario where we face deflation and not inflation. Well, I think over the long term, we are actually going to see severe deflation because technology as a whole is extremely, extremely deflationary. So sunshine after rain, I'm not sure if you remember the what's it called? The Nightbot command. But there's a very interesting interview with Michael Saylor, and he is the CEO of MicroStrategy, which is a software company. And he talks about that exact thing, how technology in itself is inherently deflationary. You know, if you just think about all of the different things you can accomplish with the internet on your iPhone. You know, think about all the things you don't have to buy because you have one conclusive iPhone device. Your iPhone is your TV, your iPhone is your news source, your iPhone contains every single book that was ever written in human history. So you don't have to go out and buy multiple books. It contains some of the lectures from some of the most renowned professors in the entire world. So technology has condensed pretty much all of the world's information onto one specific, easy to use device. So instead of having to go buy a camcorder, a tape recorder, a camera, everything is consolidated and thus deflationary due to technology. So I think technology in and of itself is inherently deflationary, but I think the pressures that you're going to face in an inflationary environment is in things like housing, is in things like food prices and stuff like that. Oh, this is a really beautiful place right here. War Walker says 3D tree. Santo A says you can rent it and write it off as a business expense, says Santo. Username says I have one more month until some big CDs mature and I need to rebuy. Please wait until then for interest rates to drop. Yeah, let's check this out, guys. This is a beautiful area here. Wow, check this out. Very cool. Nice. PG says too many lights. Santo Ace is absolutely gorgeous. Girl in the Curl says hi, the Mighty Bull. What's up, Girl in the Curl? Good to see you. I like this sort of walkway here. Very beautiful. What's up, Michelle McGraw? Good to see you. I like how the walkway goes in between the water. Tommy C says, keep up the great work. Why not iPhone gimbal? You use 5G, not blurry. Tommy C, I use an iPhone 11. Ryan says, Tom, can you explain that the government forgiving student debt would mean the taxpayers footing the bill, lenders would still get their money? Yeah, that is true. So if, you know, essentially the banks and the institutions are the ones lending out the money. But the reason, what the student loan forgiveness program is, it essentially is the taxpayers, me and you, taking on the responsibility of repaying that loan, right? And actually, and don't quote me on this, let's say if you have a $400,000 student loan balance and you get the entire thing forgiven, I believe you have to pay taxes on that since it's considered like a gift or something. So if you have a $700,000 student loan debt balance and the government forgives all of it, you still have to pay the taxes on that, which is really bizarre. Hey, Girl in the Curl says, good to see you too. Your channel is in Miami now, Tom. Yeah, so Girl in the Curl, we just got to Miami about 3 days ago. We are going to be streaming 50-50 between New York City and Miami. I'm actually going to be back. I have to fly back to New York City on Wednesday. I'm hosting a Christmas party at the Boathouse in Central Park. Hey, Matt says, that is pretty much all student loan forgiveness will do. Just send the money from taxpayers for somebody else's agreements directly to lenders, says Matt. Wood Beast on YouTube says, the squad wants that. Bob says, you are Miami World Center project, which is 27 acres of new development downtown and one of the largest urban projects in the country right now. Very cool. Check out this little guy. I like that guy's dog. Hey, Jonathan says, Tom's videos are always extremely smooth and soothing. How are you, Jonathan Richards? Hope you're having a good Saturday. We were also talking about the Turkish lira today. So the Turkish lira is in a hyperinflationary collapse. I believe the inflation rate in Turkey is 22% now, which is really, really crazy. And one of the reasons why I think it's so bad in Turkey, especially with the lira in a hyperinflationary collapse, is because the Turkish government is actually nudging their central bank to lower interest rates even more. Usually in times of inflation, the Federal Reserve or whatever central bank, let's say if it's the European Central Bank or the like, they actually have to get in there and start to raise interest rates to cool down the economy and tail off inflation. But that's actually the exact opposite of what's happening. It's almost like this is a self-inflicted wound. So a lot of people in Turkey, I'll show you guys the Freedom Tower. So this is the Miami's Freedom Tower right here. So a lot of people in Turkey, the moment that they get paid, they're just trying to buy gold or, transfer their lira into US dollars or into other currencies. And this is exactly what you're seeing in other countries as well, like in Argentina. Argentina has extremely high inflation. So really horrible and terrible what's going on. Hey, Lisa says, hi, Tom. What's up, Lisa? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Sally says, nice. What's up, Sally? Arsenal fan 13 says the Lebanese pound is also being hit hard versus the dollar. Yeah. NNB 045 says Lebanon too. Lisa, good to see you. Nicholas says, Tom, this holiday, pretty you're hosting for it is one business, two clients, three the boys, says Nicholas. TL says Obama gold is priced in dollars and the lira is virtually worthless. It won't affect the price of gold. The Mighty Bull says watching, listening, and reading. So for me, the definition of hyperinflation, because a lot of people say, well, what is the difference between inflation and a hyperinflationary collapse? And I think that definition is quite simple. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys agree or not. And I think we're looking at the Metro Mover here in downtown Miami. In my view, the moment a country or a country's currency enters hyperinflationary collapse is when the citizens of that particular country lose all hope and respect in their government. I'll say that one more time. When you have a hyperinflationary collapse, that is when people of that particular country lose all respect, all credibility, and all trust in their government. And I think we can sort of tie this to what we saw in Zimbabwe. So that is usually when a country starts to go into hyperinflationary collapse, is when the societal structure breaks down. Is when the citizens no longer have a trust in their own government to have a stable currency. Hey, Giovanni says Miami is most part is Cuban. They fled in the late 80s. Yes, so my neighborhood is majority of Cubans. What's up, Giovanni? Hey, Coolon 516 says, Nicholas, I saw it on Twitter. What happened to the guy in the end? Hey, Carolina Tom says, Tom, do you ever turn the camera to yourself just to know who we're talking to? Thanks, buddy. So we do sometimes. But if you want to follow me, if you want to see me, you could check out my IG at Wall Street Scaper, or follow me on Twitter. That's where I post the majority of my financial analysis. You can follow me on Twitter or IG. Hey, Accident 158 says, hello, Miami from the Philippines. Crypto Mafia says, thoughts on the digital yuan becoming the new world reserve currency? I don't think it will. I actually think that down the line, you're going to have one central bank world reserve currency. But that is just my opinion. So this is Miami-Dade College campus. I believe this is a business school too. Let's see. I think I saw some ticker tape. I'm a big sucker for ticker tape. Ooh, guys, we need to put one of these up in the house. That's awesome. TL, good to have you. Accident, good to have you. Bob says, get on the Metro Mover, Tom. Maybe we'll do that one day. We'll have to do that one day, the Metro Mover. One of the things I noticed about Miami is just how clean it is. There's no garbage anywhere. It's insane. Oh my God, guys, check this out. See, I want to get one of these for my house. So it looks like we're on a real trading desk. Very cool. It says, welcome to the Venture Miami Tech Hiring Fair. Giovanni says, Texas, New York. I graduated from Miami-Dade Kendall campus. Very cool. How'd you like it? GD says, get out of this area, go to Wynwood. Nicholas says, Tom, besides Salesforce, what are good tools to add on to use for sales-related jobs? Also just essential for everyday use. I would say Zoom Info, Marketo, things like that, in my opinion. Zoom Info is a good tool. HubSpot, things like that. Hey, so we have Microsoft, $323, Apple, $161, Johnson & Johnson, $159, Amazon, $33.89, JP Morgan, $158, Google, Alphabet, $28.40, Disney, $146, Exxon Mobil, $60.89. I love this ticker tape. I got to get one for the house. NNB045 says, some argue Bitcoin should become the world's reserve currency because Bitcoin cannot be confiscated by any country imposing sanctions on one another. That's actually a very interesting perspective there. Karina Thompson says, hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late to the party. Had to help my mom with the Christmas tree. Very cool. D. Roro says, the owner of the Bugatti is Kevin the Bias. He's a branding guy and big Tesla stock investor. Really? That is so cool. Well, it looks like we just saw him today. His car was amazing, by the way. Hey, Bob's Miami-Dade College was also my college. I'll give you guys, so this is the Business Innovation and Technology Center here at Miami-Dade College. So cool. I think this is a good place to start the streams, guys. Maybe I'll start starting the streams here. The Swan, how are you? So we'll make a left over here and then we will go to the Brickell. Once I have my skateboard, we're gonna be able to rip all around the city pretty fast. Should be pretty cool. Square Bets as DD just came across the ticker as it's getting delisted. So this is Northeast 4th Street. I love how quiet it is. Sunshine After Rains has hit the like button. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Hey, Flex Stream says, what's the best pizza in Miami? I've never had pizza in Miami so far. I'm almost afraid to. But the campus looks great. Matt says, what do you think is a good buy price for Tesla? I heard some say they don't think it will ever dip below 900. I mean, I wouldn't say that. The one thing I would say is that anything is possible in the financial market. So whenever somebody says, oh, it's impossible for this stock to trade below this price, yeah, it is. It most certainly is. Especially if the Federal Reserve actually starts to raise interest rates. Was that fireworks? All right, we got to check out the fireworks if there's fireworks, guys. Isabella says, hi, Tom. It's like a ghost town. Yes. So usually in downtown Miami, it's not like a big party scene. This is where everybody commutes to work and then goes home. So what you can sort of think about is like Lower Manhattan, right? If you were commuting to Lower Manhattan back in the day, and then everybody goes home to like the Upper West Side or the Upper East Side. Crypto Mafia says, hey man, I just want to say thank you. I'm so glad I found your channel. Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate you being here. I think this is a Rolls Royce too, isn't it? Giovanni says, not much free parking. They're just jobs. Lots of home buildings there, says Giovanni. Hey, Joel NC says, hi, Tom. Do you have a driver's license and do you think you will be getting a car in Miami? I do have a driver's license, but I absolutely 100% refuse. I actually refuse to ever drive a car, ever. I will never get a car here. Hey, Traveling New Yorker says, Tom, does Miami have a lot of clubs? Yeah, I believe Miami has a ton of clubs and a ton of nightlife, but I'm just not a big clubbing type person. That's really not my personality. But if you want a good time to go out and have a good time in Miami, there's definitely no shortage of places where you can go and do that. So War Walker, they actually just started 24-hour service on the buses again. But what time is it? Does anybody, would you mind just doing a quick time check in the chat? War Walker says, oh yeah, War Walker. I think it was last week they just put it back to 24-hour schedule. So maybe we'll go take a quick walk around Bayside real quick. And if you look down the right, this is the Intercontinental Hotel. Hey, Jack says, thanks, Square Bet. Joel, but I think you make a good point. Should I get a car? Probably, but I've had no problem with the public transportation here. And I think having a car is a massive liability, especially after living in New York forever and seeing how the drivers drive here. I don't want to pay for the insurance. I don't want to pay for the gas. I don't want to have to deal with it. I don't want to have to find parking and deal with tickets. I just want to be very, very asset light in terms of cars. Yeah, Square Bet says cars are money pits. And I think it's just a massive liability to have. And since I'm back and forth between Miami and New York so much, I don't think it's worth it for me to get a car. TL says jaywalking. Hey TL, did you know that in New York City, if you are caught not jaywalking, you'll get a ticket? Did you know that? So in New York, it's a requirement to jaywalk. Just kidding. So here we are at the Bayside Marketplace. Joel NC says, with public transportation available, no need for the hassle or to spend the extra money. I agree. Yeah, Giovanni says Coral Gables need a car, Kendall need a car, 40th Street need a car, Coral Way need a car. Yeah, but I only commute to the Brickell, Normandy Shores, and North Miami Beach. So literally, quite literally, right when I walk outside my house, I have the 3 bus right there. I get on the bus and it takes me right down here to downtown Miami. And then if I want to take the S, it takes me all the way to South Beach. So there's no reason for me to get a car. Hey, Juliana says, Tom, do you live in New York or Miami? Both places. I live both. Crypto Mafia says, I took a boat tour from Bayside once. Looked at celebrity homes. It was an awesome experience. Very cool. Very cool, Crypto Mafia. That's awesome. Hey, Ed Potke is here from Corning, New York. What's up, Ed? Good to see you. Bob says, Miami's transit system isn't bad unless you live out in the suburbs. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've never had an issue. Everybody else told me I'd have a massive issue coming here, moving to Miami, but I have not had any issue whatsoever at all. Hey, Daryl says, hey, Tom, Super Friends and the City is live in Times Square and says hello to you. Hey, tell Fernando I say what's up. Fernando's my good pal, my good buddy. Rich NYC says, hey, what's up, bro? How are you? I'm doing very good, Rich. Matt says, how will you get all the groceries home without a car? Even with public transportation, it will be a lot of carrying, walking to the bus stops. So I have a Whole Foods and a, what's it called? A Publix and Walmart all within walking distance from the house. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to purchase this particular property here in Southern Florida, because I am also using it for rental income. And statistically speaking, you always want to get a house or a piece of property with a very good walking score, right? So that attracts a lot of people that want to live in your property. If you can walk to coffee shops, if you can walk to grocery stores and things like that, the bus stop is right outside, literally right outside the house, which is good. So it's walking distance to everything. Hey, Otto, this is Tom. When is your newsletter coming out? I enjoyed your last edition. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. So the next newsletter will be out tomorrow afternoon. It usually drops every Sunday night or every Monday night. And if you want to sign up for the free Behind the Street newsletter, I believe it's in the link in the description, or you could type !NEWS and it'll drop the link to the newsletter. So what is this? I believe this is like, what, a party boat or something? Jax says, Tom, do you work from home 100%? I do work from home 100%. However, things have been starting to open back up. So I've actually been going out to see clients a lot. So all next week, I'm going to be going out to dinners with a lot of my clients in New York. So I'm very optimistic and looking forward to that. What about you, Jack? Do you work remote 100%? Nicholas says it's 2021, almost 2022, cars ain't it. I think maybe if I had disposable income, I'd get a Tesla, but I definitely do not have that. Jack says I'm 100% remote, I'm in PC tech. So I'm curious, for anybody who wants to put in the chat, just so we can sort of get a survey going on, how many people in the chat work 100% remote? So give your percentage. If you work 50% remote, put 50% in the chat. If you work 100% remote, put 100% in the chat. I'd be interested to see what everybody does. Yeah, Nicholas's cars are a waste of money. If George Washington didn't have one, why should I? That is hilarious. William Creech says 0. Square Bet 90% remote. Ken says 100% remote. Giovanni says I work in Coral Gables. Ruby Falcone says 0% remote, unfortunately. Michael says 50%. CG says 100% remote. That's pretty good. Ash M says I was 100%, now required to come in 4 days out of the month, starting last month, says Ash M. Well, that's still not bad. Only 4 days out of the month. That's a steal. Chris says you work on site 100% of the time. Charlie Richardson says I'm looking for remote positions. So I used to have to come to the office, right? So I was in tech sales, as everybody knows, in Manhattan, and my office was right in Manhattan at 1166 Avenue of the Americas. And once the big C hit, we were 100% remote. But since I was in a tech job, my boss never required me to come into the office unless I was producing. So as long as I was hitting my quota, as long as I was signing up new accounts and selling a lot of products and services, I never had to come into the office. Vincent says you are 100% remote. Ron says 100% retired. That's awesome, Ron. Hey, Shop by Scott says 100% remote and 90% sitting in a Starbucks. Yeah, a lot of people seem to be working from cafes nowadays. Vincent says 100%. DN says I would miss coworkers and talking in person. I agree. Sunshine After Rain says I work in healthcare. I have to be on site 100%. Ash M says I agree. Ron TV says I am in freelance and YouTuber. Does that count as remote? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Joel NC says the internet provides a lot of flexibility with jobs and stuff like that. Talvish says you're 100% remote. Great Walks says the only bad thing about working 100% remote is the quantity of Zoom calls and meetings. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, sometimes I could be on back-to-back conference calls all day. which is a little bizarre, but it's true. Michael says, I feel I work more than 50% remote. I have to do scheduled nightly builds, in which I do remote as well. 50% requirements is Michael. Bob says, Tom, I think this pandemic has changed many people's idea of having work on the side, on site, hence why so many aren't going back. I agree. Charlie Richardson's very cool. Nicholas says, Tom, Miami is a spot, but why not buy a nice piece of real estate in SI with the prime view of the in Staten Island? No way. I would never buy anything in Staten Island. No way. I don't think, if somebody gave me a free piece of property in Staten Island, I probably wouldn't even take it. No way. My God. Zero chance. But that's just my opinion. I'm not a big Staten Island, fan. You don't get any of the benefits of living in New York City, but you get all the tax. You have to pay all the taxes of living in New York City, but none of the benefits. Ryan says taxes are outrageous. Yeah, I mean, Staten Island definitely gets the short end of the stick, 100%, because you reap none of the benefits of living in the great city of New York, but you get 100% of the tax liability. Fred T says, to be honest, it's not worth living in New York City anymore. I kind of disagree with that. I love New York. I'll always be around New York, always. In my opinion, those are my two. I think those are the two. I think it's still the greatest city on earth is New York. Shot by Scott says, so 90% of work I do in a Starbucks 5. That's hilarious. Scott, what do you do? I don't think we've ever asked. If you want to disclose that. Mashabu says Staten Island Ferry is free. It is free. That is true. Hey, Marjan Worldwide says, evening Tom, what are your plans for New Year's Eve? So I will be in New York City for New Year's Eve. So I'll be in New York City for all the major holidays, visiting my family. DN says Staten Island was thinking about splitting off and becoming its own city a little while ago. Nicholas is sorry I'm late to the party. 20% remote, I prefer the office. So even before the pandemic, I was technically in the office, but I was also technically never in the office, if you know what I mean. I would go to the office just to do like administrative work, update Salesforce and things like that. But I would never ever be in the office all the time because I was always meeting with clients, doing demos on site and things like that. NNB045 says live streaming idea for you. Downtown Montreal, Canada. Very cool. Maybe we'll do that. If I can ever get back to Miami. I mean, if I can ever get back to Canada. Karina Thompson says, I'm glad I'm retired now for 5 years. Nicholas says, Tom, how much of tech sales is cold calling? Can you explain the process of reaching out to potential clients via Zoom info? So I think at first, a lot of the groundwork is, actively prospecting, actively outbound calling. But the majority of my business, actually, I've gotten through email. I had a lot of success with that. And it just also depends on the specific sector you're selling into, right? So are you in public sector sales? Are you in SMB sales? Are you in enterprise sales, right? There's a lot of different departments within your software company, your tech company, that you could be selling into, right? So my focus, when I was at my last tech company, my focus was selling into home healthcare agencies, nursing homes, and hospitals. So one of the things you'll notice about selling into nursing homes, hospitals, and home healthcare agencies in New York City is that all of them tend to have the same owner in one way or the other. So a lot of the home healthcare agencies in New York City are owned by 4 families, mainly in the Hasidic Jewish community. So I was very, very lucky to be able to build a relationship with one of the largest home healthcare agencies in New York City, become very, very good friends with them in the family, and they essentially gave me a lot of business by referrals. So that's why I always say that sales is all about treating people the right way, right? If you're ever unethical in sales, ever, the word is going to get around that you're an unethical salesperson, and nobody's going to want to work with you. So the most important thing that you can do is protect your personal brand, right? Your personal brand is more important than the brand of the company. So the biggest advice I could give in sales is always do the right thing by the customer, always. Cool Aunt 516 is Florida too. They're a huge healthcare LinkedIn channels. Yeah, so a lot of my clients also own subsidiaries in Southern Florida. So a lot of the subsidiary businesses were here in Southern Florida too. So this is the Metro Mover, pretty cool. Nicholas has just caught up with your Staten Island comment. I 100% agree with you. Hey, Isabella, how are you? British Gray is here, coming from Tampa, Florida. Says, Tom, the Golden Corral in Tampa has been closed for a whole year since the illness came upon us in the United States. Joel NC says, I think cold calling is one of the worst jobs. Receiving calls is bad enough. Yeah, I mean, I think that's why a lot of people don't want to do sales, right? But, you know, especially in software sales, if you're in enterprise software sales or tech sales in general, if you could suck it up and just do the hard work at first and build your book of business, the career is extremely lucrative, probably as lucrative as investment banking, and in sometimes even more, surprisingly, especially if you are in an enterprise account executive role selling into the Fortune 500 companies. So just think about, you know, the Amazon AWS sales reps or the Microsoft Azure sales reps that are selling into public sector, that are selling to the United States government. I believe that there was just a deal from AWS and Microsoft Azure that's splitting a $30 billion contract for their cloud services. There's a sales rep that sold them that, right? And they're making commission on that. They probably made well over $2 or $3 million just on that deal alone. Those people. Hey, QBiz is here. What's up, QBiz? Kira J says, what's up with the random scooters? So I believe these are scooter rentals. You're allowed to rent scooters here and kind of cruise around the city. Jameson says, when do you like to do your free time? What do you like to do in your free time when you're not networking? I usually play soccer, skateboard, live stream, things like that. Jonathan Richards says, good sales advice, Tom. I always sell myself before the product, before the company or the product itself. Absolutely. Because Jonathan, and to your point, I think a lot of salespeople, they only think about the commission like right away. Like, what am I going to make next month? If you can change your perspective to what am I going to make in the next 5 years, that's a totally different conversation. And when you start to ask yourself those questions, your behaviors will change drastically in your sales processes and the way you network and the like. Bob says referrals are the lifeblood of sales. Take care of the customer and they will take care of you. It's the same for me in real estate, 100,000%. I agree. Hey, Michelle McGraw. What's up, Michelle McGraw? Michelle McGraw is our grade moderator on the channel. Hope you're well, Michelle. Obama says, Scott, did you see Marilyn Art Channel? Interesting. I know we're live streaming. We're live. Yep. Huh? Yeah, we're live streaming on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, it's the show. We do a live show 5 days a week in Miami and New York, half and half. It's like a finance show. Yeah, it's called Wall Street Skate Bro. It's on YouTube. We do a live show. Yeah. Well, you guys have a good night. See you later. Enjoy your weekend. Bob says, nice Christmas tree. Jonathan Richards says, referrals are the lifeblood of a sales process. I want my customers to refer me to other customers. Yeah, exactly. So guys, I think we're getting a little bit sidetracked. We were supposed to walk to the Brickell. So we gotta get hurried up before it gets too late. But I think we covered a lot on the stream. We talked about the equities market. We talked about the Turkish lira, which is the currency in Turkey that has fallen into hyperinflationary collapse. The inflation rate in Turkey is running about 22%, as well as in Argentina. I believe the Argentinian inflation rate is a little bit better, maybe about at 16%, but still really crazy nonetheless. And also, we got an abysmal jobs number that came out on Friday. However, I think I want to provide some more clarity to that specific jobs number, because technically it was a miss of about 500,000 jobs. But if you look back at the 3 previous jobs reports, even though they all reported abysmal numbers, they were all revised higher. Every single jobs number that came out was revised higher. But the most important thing to look for, as we've covered on the channel before, is not how many jobs are being added or the unemployment rate, because there's a lot of churn in those jobs, right? And that doesn't really reflect the health of the economy. What does reflect the health of the economy is the labor force participation rate. And the labor force participation rate in the workforce, and we are seeing that number decline, which is extremely concerning, which means a lot of people are getting left behind in this economy. Oh, and it is Hanukkah, so happy Hanukkah, everybody. London Walk is here. What's up, London Walk? Oh yeah, I think this is a spot where we do tend to buffer a lot. What about now, everybody? I think it should be good with the buffering. Michelle McGraw says it's better now. Yeah, every time we walk past or get too close to the Metro Mover, it always tends to buffer. NNB045 says no more buffering. Hey, Tommy C is here. Says that pinch came down on Wolfie Stratton Oatmonk in 96. I got out of New York too. I wasn't stealing, allowed to leave. All right. Hello from Japan. Greetings everybody from Japan. Hope you're well. Jerry Covey says, does the participation rate include the gig economy? It doesn't, but it still includes a lion's share of the health of the job market, right? And I think that's why looking at the unemployment rate is not a good indicator of the health of the overall economy, because there's a lot of people getting left behind. There's a lot less people working now than even before the pandemic. We've still not recovered. And for a person aged 25 to 54 to not be participating in the economy it's kind of scary, actually. Hey, QBiz says, I thought all the scooters were ordered to be removed from the streets of Miami. I didn't hear about that. Hey, for the love of God, says lovely shalom. Happy Hanukkah, everybody. Jay Leto. What's up, Jay? So we're coming up on the Aston Martin Tower here. Jonathan Richards says, I really like what you say. How can we connect? Yeah, I wish there was like a direct message feature on YouTube where people could connect. But what I am going to do, everybody, is I'm going to set up a Wall Street Skate Bro group chat. I think I'm either going to use Discord or WhatsApp. And the reason why I want to create this is so people can network for investment banking job opportunities, as well as tech job opportunities, and even provide referrals of specific companies. Oh, look at this car right here. I think, what is this? One of the new Rolls-Royce SUVs, I believe. Is that correct? Yeah, Michelle McGraw says, Tom, you can make a Discord. I think that's what I'm going to do, and it's going to be used for networking purposes. So anybody who joins the streams that works in tech, maybe you want to get into tech sales or software engineering, bank, you could definitely join the Discord, and we could all network, provide referral links and things like that. Yeah, Tech Explored NYC says Discord is good. So that is coming up in the next coming weeks, and I'll remember to put the link in the group chat. I mean, with the Nightbot. So everybody, this is right outside of the brand new Aston Martin Towers, the residences right here. Hey, Shay says, greetings from San Francisco. Love your videos. Thank you. Please shout out my hubby, BJORN, who is enjoying this too. I apologize. I think I would pronounce your husband's name really, really wrong, so I don't want to do that. But I appreciate the both of you always enjoying the streams, enjoying the channel. Thank you for joining. JK is here. What's up, JK? It says Aston Martin Residences. Yes. So this building right here is the Aston Martin building. Sally says beautiful. JK says, wow, people have a lot of money in Miami. British Grace says, that's a great entrepreneur move, Tom. QBiz says, that restaurant you're facing, Tom, always has a display of luxury exotic cars parked out front. Hey, Otto says, I am a full stack developer, would love that idea. Yeah, Otto, I'm definitely going to do that. I have, because you know what I've noticed, Otto, a lot of my friends that are, either software engineers at Google or Facebook, now called Meta, all of my friends in friends seem to can create a group chat or a place where we can network and maybe provide some of our insight from working in the tech industry or working in the hedge fund business or investment banking. I think it would help a lot of people, so I'm definitely going to get started on creating a Discord very soon. Username says most of the Miami money was made elsewhere. Yes, that is true. Great Walk says, what a beautiful city. Santo A says, awesome. Kira J says, pretty. Hey, T and Me TV is here. Says, just tuned in from Nashville, Tennessee. What's up, T and Me TV? Good to see you. Jet Life says, whoa, that's super tall. What's up, Jet Life? Nicole says, when I see Miami, I always think about Bad Boys. Yeah, there's always very, very nice cars here. Warwalker says the new Miami Vice. The Swan says disco here. Lisa said, would you say $60 an hour is a good paying job? Yeah, I would say so. Michelle McGraw says, I think of Dexter. Funny. Joel NC says, I think about Mr. Worldwide, aka Pitbull from Miami. Hey, Bob says, the people who bought the penthouse in the Aston Martin Tower are the owners of the largest supermarket chain in Argentina. Wow, sold for over 20 million bucks. That's pretty wild. Shot by Scott says, I'm the publishing editor of an art magazine / freelance creative. That's awesome, Scott. You do photo, video design, branding. Had to condense my earlier comment. That's very cool, Scott. QBiz says, Tom, do you know anyone in the tech industry who can help me find an entry-level work in DevOps cloud engineering? Maybe. I would try Atlassian. I think Atlassian is an Australian software company that you could probably, if you're interested in DevOps, check out Atlassian. Or shoot me an email. If you shoot me an email at wallstreetscapebro@gmail.com, I'll see what I could do. I'll look at my Rolodex. Hey, Nicholas says you could also use Slack instead of Discord. Yeah, so Slack was actually acquired by Salesforce. Great Walk says, I'm from Argentina. What is the name of the supermarket? Do you know? Yeah, so if anybody knows, please drop in the chat the name of the supermarket that the family owns that bought the tower. We would love to know. Nicholas says Discord or Slack is nice, so you can have specific channels of conversations. I agree. Yeah, we'll probably make one for people that want to break into investment banking, the hedge fund business, and enterprise software sales. We'll break it down. So it's funny, I notice in New York City I always cross at green lights. For some reason I don't trust these guys here in Miami. I feel like I'm always going to get clocked, so I always wait for the light to turn. I don't know why. I think that the Florida drivers are worse than New York, in my opinion. Bob says it's a Cuban, so a Cuban-American owned supermarket. So this is the Wells Fargo Center we are crossing, or coming across here anyway. So now we are headed towards the financial district in Miami. War Walker, what's up? Photos from around New York says bad drivers everywhere. But I always see road rage here. There's so much road rage in southern Florida. Maybe it's because of the heat, so. Jetstar says get clocked. Funny. Hey, Daryl says Florida drivers used to be from New York City, Tom. That is true. Hey, Tommy C says if I had my GoPro on my bike back in 96, they would have called me Action Tommy instead of Boca Raw Tom. Very cool. Yeah, War Walker says careful when you skateboard. Yeah. So here we are at the Wells Fargo Center here in downtown Miami, overlooking the City National Bank building. Jonathan Richards, I agree with you. Hey, Chris says, what shoes do you wear with all the walking you do? Just junky shoes that I think I got at Marshall's in 72nd Street in Manhattan. Jet Life says, I agree with you, though too many Miami seniors are driving. I just think a lot of people are in a hurry to go nowhere. So in other news, we're gonna have the skateboard back very soon. I can promise you guys that. Andy says, cool building. Jet Life, thank you for joining. Giovanni. Jonathan Richards says, I don't think about the commission until after the sale is made. I think about providing the best for my customers, and the commission will take care of itself. I think that's a great way to think about it. Nicholas says, Tom, did you ever check out Sonder, the company I told you about? I didn't get a chance to do it, Nicholas. What's best, if you send me an email, just so I remember, because there's so many questions on the live stream, but if you send me an email, I will promise, I promise you, I will be able to look at it, I promise. It's just, if I don't have it in an email, it's so hard for me to remember. Kira J says, what's wrong with the skateboard? There's nothing wrong with it. It's just in New York City. And I have one here in Miami I've yet to break out. Yeah, photos from around New York is where are people driving in downtown Miami at 11:30. Could we do a quick time check? Is it really 11:30 at night? Giovanni says Jackie Gleason Center is nearby. All right, we'll try to do a quick walk over the bridge before the phone dies, everybody. But this is my favorite view in Miami over here. It's kind of cool to see all the boats going by. Okay, 11:30. Hey, Lady-O. What's up, Lady-O? Lady-O is joining us from the great state of New Jersey. James says, I thought Miami people just party all day. It smells like a barbecue. QBiz says, Tom, I'm originally from New Jersey and worked in New York for years. And I laughed when this lady told me Miami was too fast for her. Funny. Check out this guy's boat here. Bob says clubs in Miami don't close till 5 a.m. That's really crazy. James Brumley, what's going on? This is a beautiful view from up here. I'll let you guys take a look at it. Andre says, Andre, what's up? Andre says, is the name in the Constitution? Twice. Jay Leto says, what types of people live in these buildings? Yeah, probably would have to be extremely wealthy, I would say. Spectacular, thank you for sharing, no problem. Nicholas says we should collectively put together capital to buy Tom another iPhone battery. Well, if you guys enjoyed the stream, feel free to give the video a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you are new. Ron says, which is your boat? None of them, unfortunately. Yeah, QBiz will have to do a stream in Miami during the day, because this place, downtown Miami during the day, looks absolutely gorgeous. And I really want to show you guys. So I'll give you one more look across the river here. Nicole says, love that view over the ocean. So this building that we're looking at right here is the Aston Martin Residences. And this is where the CEO of that big supermarket in Argentina bought a $20 million apartment. British Gray says, I really enjoyed the live stream. Thank you, British Gray. Appreciate it. Yes, Lady O. We definitely have to do that. So Lady O says we would really love to see a Miami sunset. The sunset today, Lady O, was incredible. Really, really incredible. Hey, Faith is here. What's up, Faith? Faith says, good evening. We just made it to the Brickell, and if you look straight ahead, this is the Bank of America Tower. So this is the financial district where a lot of the investment banks, financial institutions. And at this hotel, these pillars here are actually faces. So if you look closely, you'll actually see faces in these. Ron says, are property prices high in Miami? Yes, they are extremely, extremely high. Michelle McGraw says, we'd love to see that, Tom. It's in the works, for sure. Yeah, Lady O says, sunsets by the beach are always breathtaking. If you look to the right, that's one of my favorite spots here in the Brickell, with all these palm trees decorated for the holidays. It's really nice. Yeah, War Walker says this area reminds me of New York City a little bit. Hey, Black Angel says, Tom, thank you for the incredible stream tonight. Thank you, Black Angel, for joining. I appreciate it. Hey, Victor Cripps says hi. What's up, Victor? There's an incredible amount of traffic here at all times. I think there's more traffic in Miami than there is in New York. Username says, oh good, you see the faces too. I was worried for a second. So everybody, my phone is on 10% battery, so we may have to end it here. But I do appreciate everybody joining. Tomorrow we will have the Behind the Street newsletter up right around 8 o'clock at night. So if you want to sign up for a free financial newsletter that I write to about, I think 130 people now, if you type !news, N-E-W-S, in the chat, it'll bring you to a link where you could sign up for the newsletter, and you will receive it every Sunday. And everybody rides around on these little Vespa things here. I don't know if I would ever do that. So I think we may have to end it here, everybody, because my phone is dead and I need it for my bus pass. So thank you all for joining tonight. Photos from around New York, Arsenal fan, Karina Thompson, Lady O. Everybody, make it a great weekend. Have a very relaxing and enjoyable Sunday, and I will see you all right back here tomorrow. Russ NYC says, good to see you. Jared, thank you. Appreciate everybody joining. And to the Mighty Bull, have a good night to the Mighty Bull wherever you are, because there is always a bull market somewhere. You just need to know where to look. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.